major project, we're going to continue our exploration of warm and cool colors. And for this project, you are going to be doing a design that uses either flying birds or flying insects or just insects, such as an ant or a spider. Okay? And we have all these different little tracers that you can use. Now, you're not going to use all of them. You're going to pick which one you would like to do, whether it's the spiders, the ant, the butterflies, the bees, or the birds. Okay? You have to pick one species, and then you're going to pick a couple of tracers. Okay? You don't have to use all of them. If you just want one bird, fine. You want to use two? Fine. Okay? So I think for my little project, I'm going to go with a couple of my bees. I'm going to do this one, I think. Just so the stuff out of the way. Now, first thing we are going to do is we're going to be using 9" by 12" drawing paper. Okay? You're going to write your name on it. First and last name, please. Then, flip it over, and you're going to take your tracer. You're going to start in the bottom left corner, like this area here. And I want you to place it so that part of your tracer goes off the paper. Okay? And hold on to it with a finger. Hold your pencil straight up and down. It's awkward, but it keeps it from moving around the wrong places. You're going to trace your first insect or animal. Then, I want you to put another one real close to it, almost touching. And it can go off the paper if it needs to. And you're going to trace that one. And you're going to continue to crowd up this bottom left corner with your insect or animal that you have chosen. Okay? And you can switch if you have a couple different kinds. You can turn them, flip them, have them going off the paper. That's up to you. It's your project. And sometimes it's a little tough to keep these from moving around, so just take your time and be patient. Okay, and I'm just going to keep doing this until my bottom left corner of my paper is really, really crowded with a lot of these items. Turning, twisting, getting them as close as possible together, almost like puzzle pieces that are about to go together, but aren't quite there yet. Now, do this one right here, and then I think my corner is pretty good for now. We're going to come back to it, though. All right, so you do that with your birds, your bees, your ants, whatever you got, okay? Nice little crowd of items down here. Then, as you start to work in other areas of the paper, I want you to start spreading them out. Kind of like they're flying away. Or walking away if they're the ant or the spider. Okay? And again, twisting, turning. And we want to try and do this so that it looks like there's a gradual change from real close together to further and further apart. When we get to the opposite corner of the paper, there should be barely any at all. You'll see what I mean as I work. And again, it makes it very visually interesting that you have these going off the paper. So please keep that in mind. Okay, so out a bit, you can see that I've got a crowded area here and they fan out with more space in between as you get over here. Okay, now this is where it gets a little more tricky. You are now going to go back to where you started. You're going to take your tracer and you're going to put it over some of the others. I'm going to zoom in for this because this can get a bit tricky, right? You notice I've put it over the ones I've already traced. And I'm going to look for areas of this tracer that are outside the ones I've already done. So if you look at this little section of wing right here, it's outside of this one that I already traced. So I'm going to trace it like that. Then I'm going to look for other areas where there is blank paper. And I'm going to trace that as well. I'll work my way around and see what else is outside of the other things that I traced in the first step. And you can see that there you go. I'll double check this. In this one little itty bitty line, there it is. And what that does is it gives it a little bit more of a layered look, okay, more crowded. So you're going to do that maybe 5 or 6 times in here. So you just plop it somewhere, look for the parts that are outside the ones you have already completed, and you're going to only trace those areas. This is called overlapping, right? 5 or 6 times. We are only doing this. Double check some things here. We are only doing this in this bottom corner. Okay, kids? We want to look like there's a real congested, crowded area down here. So far I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's 5. I'm happy with that. Okay, you can see there's a lot going on right here, and then not a whole lot going on elsewhere. Just makes for a very interesting composition for our art project. Again, make sure that you're holding the paper the tall way. I forgot to tell you guys that. Hopefully you saw that in my video. All right, so that is the first step of our project.